Yes, what's up guys, it's Alex, and in today's video or today's live stream I decided to make a more interactive because inflammation and or DHT as it's also called, it is a serious thing that needs to be addressed, and I think it is more useful to kind of have a kind of more open ground about it. And like DHT is something that often guys experience when they have problems with scalp, right? And basically what I want to kind of do in this live stream is that I want to share with you pictures of my scalp when I was having DHT or the so-called DHT and what I call scalp inflammation, because DHT is I would say it is it doesn't describe the problem in the right way, because if one kind of thinks that one is having DHT, one would start to take finasteride and may assume that finasteride is not effective enough. So maybe one steps up to topical finasteride or steps up to our doctor or something, because one kind of feels that it's not enough to address it. So that's why I want to kind of give you a bit more understanding what I mean by DHT, or better description of scalp inflammation, and why it is actually a serious thing that needs to be addressed to actually get your goal regarding hair regrowth and stopping hair loss or shedding, or what is the problem, right? So I will share my pictures when I was having scalp inflammation. So, like I did take a microscope pictures back then, so you can actually see how my scalp looked like when I was having inflammation, and I will share them in the video or on the live stream. And if there is any questions in the chat box, I will check them up after we have done presentation. So let's see if I can find the. So here, guys, you can see basically two different scalp conditions I have been having over the years. And the first one is basically when I was having inflammation of scalp, right? You can see that there are several problems that are going on. And in the picture below, those picture below are when I had solved my scalp inflammation problems. My scalp was okay, right? You can see two different timelines. And there are a few years between those pictures, because I saw my scalp inflammation, so I didn't care that much about taking pictures of my scalp because there was no problem anymore. Finally, I decided to take it just to check how things are going. And basically, let's see, next one. This one here I want to show you is that when I was having my hair at this stage here, this is how my scalp looked like at that time, right? And if we zoom in, you can see, guys, that there are a lot of problems going on. I had a sebum buildup, I had a oiliness on my scalp, there was a redness. You can also see plugged hair follicles, flakes, most likely a lot of dandruff as well, as I remember back then. So there were several issues going on at the same time, and my scalp was always itching. It was always feeling kind of weird. I was always feeling that there was something wrong, right? I was itching like crazy from time to time. My scalp was continuously oily. I would react to, like, if I eat or drink a Coca-Cola or something, I would react immediately. My scalp would kind of feel tension. And there was so many things going on, right? And at this time, I was even on finasteride, right? This is how my hair looked like closed up, right? And at this time, I was even taking finasteride, and of course, it was not helping, because finasteride doesn't help with any scalp conditions one is having. So this is kind of misunderstanding I want to address it regarding DHT. And you can see that my temples were basically quite thin. Right? I did have a good effect from finasteride, but it was not helping, right? Because of scalp inflammation and all those things mess things up. Right? And yeah, and next one here is my hair when I had solved my scalp inflammation. You can see it's different, right? My hair looked just perfect compared to where it was when I was having scalp inflammation. And you can also see how clean my scalp was. There was no buildups, no flakes, no dandruff, right? Just perfect. And this is how scalp should look like, right? So if you do feel any problems there, if you do feel that there is sebum buildup, plugged hair follicles, inflammation, inflammatory hair follicles, itchiness, redness, tension, discomfort, all those things are basically means that there is something wrong on your scalp, right? And let's say if you do take finasteride and you still don't feel it, or other type of DHT blocker, and you don't feel that it is helping, so it basically means that there is something else that is wrong, right? And those issues is not easy to solve, right? Because if you address them with a wrong treatment, it can make things worse, right? You can make more of plugged hair follicles, you can make more sebum, and even some scalps can react badly to some things, right? Some scalps need sulfate shampoos, and some scalps doesn't need sulfate shampoo. So you need to kind of find out what is your scalp conditions, what is your hair profile, all those things before you actually can start to address it. And that's why it's important that you kind of are aware of, because every situation, every hair loss issue is individual thing. It's not like you can put everybody in the same box and address everybody from the same angle, right? Because yes, there are guys who have just DHT problems and they block the DHT issue with finasteride by taking oral finasteride, topical finasteride, and they solve it. But if there are other things going on, then basically it won't help to keep blocking DHT, topical, internally, all this stuff, because it just won't help, because it's totally different problems that's going on. And luckily, I was able to find out what is the problem for me. And you can see basically I had like at least 5 different problems going on my scalp at that time. Right? But I was able to address them effectively, and by addressing them effectively, I was able to solve them. Right? And you see how my hair basically changed by doing it. Right? And I would say like this: there is always, if you keep sticking long enough and keep trying to solve this problem as fast as possible, there is a goal in hand, right? Because the goal is getting hair back again, and it is possible if you take a right action and find out what is actually happening with your hair. Let's see, I can check up the chat box. Yeah, I see some messages here. Let's see which one I can take as first one. Yes, hi guys. Is shampooing every day is bad? It basically depends on what kind of conditions you're having, what is happening, what is causing it. Right? Let's say some scalps can handle a lot of or daily hair wash, but it depends again on what kind of shampoo you use, right? Because not every shampoo can be used on everyday wash, right? Like stopping inflammation, it's basically everything from, yes, Nizoral, Perilla, but again, there is other things like sodium, there is apple vinegar, there is things like salt masks, right? There is so many things that you can kind of try out, but you need to know what is your main cause of problem, right? If you don't know what is actually causing this issue, this hair loss problem, then it is not easy to solve it. And you kind of need to know what is actually causing, right? And let's see what's more is going on. Finasteride usually works as early as after taking like after 4 weeks, it should start to kick in, right? If it takes longer, let's say after 2 or 3 months, then it's basically a possibility that there is something else that is causing your hair loss, not just finasteride, right? Because finasteride should work in much earlier. So. Regarding microdosing, yes, you can keep microdosing 5 milligrams as long as it is finasteride, right? It doesn't matter if it's 1 mg or 5 mg, as long as it's finasteride, it doesn't matter. So. And yes, I do take biotin. I added biotin back in 2013, so I have been on biotin for 7 years now. I do cycle it from time to time, but 90% time I'm taking biotin. I feel like I do have a nice effect from it, and it definitely increases strength of my hair and how fast it grows out as well. So. Yes. Let's see. So guys, if you have any questions about scalp conditions, scalp inflammation, because this is basically a topic for today. Finasteride, I have kind of addressed it in other videos, and I don't feel that it would be the right subject for today. I would not recommend to take Dutasteride and Finasteride at the same time, because basically they do the same thing, right? They block DHT. Yes, with Dutasteride you block two different types of DHT, but again, I think it is kind of overdone, and one should not be doing too much out of it, right? Because remember, guys, I microdose Finasteride and it still works for me. If you got the oily hair from Head and Shoulders shampoo for dandruff, yeah, it's either it can be that shampoo itself makes your scalp kind of oily, or there's other causes of it. Yes, it depends. Like one question I have here is like, what is most inflammatory product that cause scalp inflammation? It basically depends on what kind of scalp inflammation one is having. Right? One can have a scalp inflammation that is caused by junk food, right? That is one type of scalp inflammation. Other type of scalp inflammation, like for example, I can show you example here. When I was having, let's see. When I was having like a sunburn on my scalp back in like 7 years ago or something. And what happened is that you can see is that my scalp become extremely red and it become very itchy, and it was basically caused by sunburn. Right? So this is also one kind of inflammation. So basically, you kind of need to know what kind of inflammation you are actually having before you can try to find a solution to it, right? Because there can be topical inflammation. That's kind of my point. There can be topical inflammation, and there can also be internal inflammation that is happening because of, let's say, because of foods, because of products you are like supplements, maybe. Like for example, creatine is always increased the shedding for me, and I feel like if I do take creatine, I feel a bit discomfort on my scalp. Right? So there are several things that are going on. Like I said, everybody has a different problem. Like in my program, for example, when I work with guys with hair loss and solving the issues, everybody has a different problem, right? And it's very hard to put them all in the same box because scalp conditions are different, hair profiles are different, and those small details count. Right? Like for example, like some have allergic reactions to even to things like Dermaroller. Their scalp is too sensitive. So if they start Dermaroller, it makes scalp very sensitive, very dry, and one cannot use Dermaroller on this kind of condition, right? So one needs to find out what is actually happening and how to address it from different angles, right? And some guys, for example, react badly to products. For example, apple vinegar that is often used for apply on scalp for different conditions. To remove buildups, it can cause other issues like hair dryness and more itchiness. So it is a bit difficult regarding it to find out what is actually individual problem and the right way to address it. Yes, so a question about Minoxidil. Slow down hair loss, but didn't gain much here over past 6 months. It depends. Basically, if you do see some small values here after 6 months, then possibly that it still hasn't quite kicked in, right? It depends on other variables like your age, how long you have been losing hair, what is causing it, right? All those small things, right? And basically, it is a bit difficult to tell you from like a general message if you should kind of keep going. I would most likely keep going with Minoxidil even if it hasn't done anything for 6 months, because you can always check your the way I usually do is that I use a light on my scalp to see if there are some veins here growing out in different areas. You can use flashlight just to check if there are things going on. If there is activities, it basically means that Minoxidil do work. Let's see the next one here. So you've been on Finasteride for 4 months, but you still have shedding and this continues, and you're 23 years old. Yes, Finasteride, like I said in the beginning, it just solves one of the problems, right? It solves DHT issue. So if there is other problems that are going on, then basically it means that you need to address it from different angles, right? Because if you're losing here just because of DHT, then taking Finasteride, it should kind of solve it, right? So this is my take on it. And yes, regarding Dermaroller, if it's possible to use it twice a week to gain sooner results, yes, it is possible. Like when I was stimulating Regrowth back in the days, back in 2013, I was using it actually daily. But again, it all depends on how much pressure you use, what is your kind of goal, and how long are needles. All those small things again counts, right? And if you do need help with it, you can always either schedule a call with me and join my program, where I have actual strategy to do it right away, so I can follow up you and see if you do it right away. So yes. Okay, guys, is there any more questions? Now we have been going out for around 20 minutes so far. I just been using USB microscope, so that's has worked for me to check like a question about checking scalp conditions. And yes, I have been with dermatologists when I had a serious scalp problems, but when I finally understood what was going on, I just got the microscope and it was just suspected. Yes. Okay, any more questions about the inflammation and scalp conditions? Regarding Kat's knowledge, it's quite relevant regarding inflammation. So yes, if you feel that Kat's knowledge is causing a problem in your scalp, then it's most likely not the right treatment for you, right? Because I know there are even guys who are reacting badly to tea gel shampoo, right? And it's basically, like I said, every hair profile, every scalp conditions is kind of different, right? So you cannot put everything in one box and assume that it works for everybody, right? And I often, when I work with guys in my program, we often spend first few weeks just to find out what is actually right treatment, right? What is actually right shampoos, what kind of components are best for each guy in the program. Let's see. Do I think about skin acne can be connected to hair fall? Yes, I would say it's kind of connected, because it is acne has connection with DHT, right? So often I have heard that if one takes Finasteride, one can get less acne as well. That said, I never had an acne problem on my face, but I did have acne on my scalp when I was having inflammation, and I think it was basically caused by inflammation. And when I started to take Finasteride, and this was many years ago, I actually did help with acne problem on my scalp. So it's most likely do work regarding it, and there is connection. Yes, anything more, guys? Any more questions before we end for the day? I can actually show you a picture of me when I was having inflammation, and like this was how bad my sebum was back in when I was having sebum build up my scalp. Basically, if you do have this kind of conditions, it is serious scalp condition inflammation, so it needs to be addressed right away. I remember when I was having this problem, I could just pull out here, like just take out that's my hairline, and it will like pull out 10 to 15 here in one pull, right? And all of them had this kind of endings. So, and I remember when I was having that kind of condition, it was basically this how my hair looked like at that time. So just to show, I'll give you a perspective of it. So, let's see, is there anything more? So back to questions. How to stimulate growth after getting baby hair with Dermaroller Minoxidil? Yes, so what you can do is basically keep doing what you're doing if you are getting results. So it means that there is something that's working, right? It depends on how long you've been doing it. Right? Let's say if you've been doing it for 1 year, 2 years, and you still just see baby hairs, that basically means that there's something wrong, right? But if it happens after first month, second month, right? So it's a different story. And again, if you need more help with it, drop him a call and let's talk about the issue and see how I can help you. Let's see. Finasteride, Minoxidil, and multivitamins after a month. Yes, combination of them do work. I would not recommend start with all of them same time, but as long as it works for you, that's fine. Yeah, if regarding question about dermarolling and pressure and if it makes pain for you, yes, it should not make any discomfort. Basically, when I roll it with enough pressure that I feel that there is things going on, but again, I don't put any pressure, so there is basically no discomfort when I'm doing it. Question about dryness and skin issues from dryness. Again, it's question what is causing the dryness, right? Because maybe dryness is caused by like maybe some things you apply on the scalp, right? Or like dryness, is it flakes, is it dandruff? It is a bit difficult to answer it. And again, if you want me to look into your case, just schedule a call below this video. Let's see, next one. Can microneedling alone help to restore lost hair, and how long it will take? It will basically take, I guess, minimum 6 months to see any difference, and possibly up to a year. But if you are doing or planning to do microneedling alone, basically depends on how advanced is your hair loss, right? If you have just hair loss that's been going on for a short time, it can possibly work. But if it's been going on for a long time, I would be more skeptical about it. Yes, supplements for hair are good. I do take omega-3 as well, so it definitely has effect, because my hair started to, like, even when I was just taking Propacia back in 2008, and even then when I was taking these supplements, I got much better results than every other guy on the hair loss forums, all the stuff. So taking it together with supplements definitely has effect on it. DHT can cause some types of problems, right? Like I would say, like for example, acne problems, like we are talking about in the past. So taking If you have acne on the scalp, then basically DHT, blocking DHT can help you. But other types of inflammation like plugged hair follicles, inflamed hair follicles, fungal things, it's not related to DHT, right? So it won't help much by taking finasteride or other DHT blocker. Yes. Okay, guys, it's my plan was to talk for 25 minutes, so I've been past that time. So if any of you want to talk with me about your hair loss issue and solve it as fast as possible with the right steps, with the right action, you can always schedule a call in the links that I just added to chat box. And otherwise, thanks for checking it out. Speak next time. Cheers.